What up, y'all? It's KP, the sports chick. So last night was the start of the regular season in the NBA. Yay! And one of the games we had the pleasure of watching was Golden State versus San Antonio. Now, you couldn't tell me nothing about San Antonio last year because, or you know what, let's just say every year. Every year since ever in the history of ever done, the Spurs have always been, for the most part, boring. Unless you're a Spurs fan, they're boring to watch. Fundamentally sound, fundamentally good and talented, but they've always been boring. And, you know, just to preface this whole thing, the Spurs are my Cowboys / Patriots of basketball. What does that mean? That means I can't stand them. And, you know, Tim Duncan never really necessarily did anything wrong. It's just that the whole team, like the Manu Parker, Tim Duncan dominance, Popovich deal always bored me. Like, they're fundamentally boring. Matter of fact, whenever they're in the finals, those ratings are the lowest ratings for finals, like, ever. So, and, you know, they're not fun to watch. And every time I sit here and watch Tim Duncan, I always think, you know, that some nursing home has been looking for him for hours. It's past curfew. The tapioca is on the table for the evening snack before bedtime. Like, that's what I'm used to. So I say all that to say, this Spurs team that was on the court last night, you know what? I urge you, or I challenge you, to watch just the highlights of last night's game. If you go on YouTube, you can find it. You know, Spurs versus Golden State. Let me tell you something. Last night, let me say Golden State side first. Golden State, KD came to work. He did what he was having to do. He did what he had to do. Where everybody else was, I'm not quite sure. Like, Steph Curry was there, Clay was there, and Draymond was there, and Iguodala was there, but they weren't present. Like, I don't know what that was last night. I mean, they scored 100 points, but I really don't understand how they did that. Spurs, on the other hand, now, we've been talking so much about Golden State all season that we forgot that they picked up Gasol, which was major. I feel like that he fits in really well. And I know I'm only talking one game in, but this is all we have to go off of so far. So that's what we're going to talk about. And think about it. You got Parker, Aldridge, Manu on the tail end of his career. He's creeping up on the retirement home as well. Simmons, Gasol. Like, this is a Kawhi? Like, this is a stacked team, y'all. And they were before. I understand that. But this is like a different, like, Tim Duncan's, like, you know, adios. And, like, I don't know. They just got kind of younger all of a sudden. Like, and I like it. Like, I've always liked Kawhi Leonard. This is a dude that balls on a budget, and which I'm all about. And, you know, he's fun to watch. He's humble, but he's really good. You know, I love those kinds of players. I've always been a fan of Kawhi's. I've always openly hated the San Antonio Spurs for their lack of being able to entertain me. That's what I despise about them. Entertain me. You are here for entertainment. So do it, San Antonio. So that's my problem with them. Now that Tim Duncan's gone, maybe things will change just a little bit. But if last night's game was any indication of what's to come for the rest of the season, you know, if I'm a Spurs fan, like, I'm excited just to watch the game every night. Now, I knew, you know, Spurs fans are always going to be excited to watch games. It's like me. I'm a Rockets fan. I know. But I'm a Rockets fan, and no matter what the record is most of the time, I'm going to be ready to watch, and I'm going to root for my team. Now, this year with the Spurs, I feel like this year is going to be different. I mean, obviously so because of Tim Duncan, but now it's like I feel like they're a little, you know, from what I saw last night, they're a little bit younger, they're more youthful. The youth of the team is starting to shine and come out. And Golden State, I don't know what's going to happen with them, but I know that KD did his part, and You know, they have to work on cohesiveness. I said at the beginning of the season, or at the beginning of, I should say, free agency, when KD was still in the sweepstakes, that my deal was with him going to Golden State was that if he does go, he needs to, you know, there's already a good chemistry there, or so I thought before we heard all these stories about Draymond Green, but for the most part, the chemistry is good. And so I didn't think he would go there just because the chemistry was so good, and you know, he's kind of infiltrating that. Well, I feel like we got a little bit of a taste of that, and opposite what I thought that KD wouldn't get a lot of touches, and that he might not openly be alienated, but maybe secretively be alienated by his teammates, you know, being like, you're a newbie and we've been here, we've already won the whole thing, and that kind of thing. But it was quite the opposite. KD came to work, he was scoring, he was making plays, and not saying anybody else wasn't, but he clearly stood out. It made me be like, okay, where is everybody else, and why aren't they stepping up like he is? So the fact that they lost by 29 points, yes, it's one game, but this is coming off a season ago when they won 20 plus games in a row before they even lost one. So they're already off to an 0-1 start. Please don't be like the Panthers, who are currently 1-5, 1-6. Don't be like them. And I need you guys to get together just before it becomes an unraveled mess. Just clean up all the confetti before it just gets to be an overwhelming mess. So if you have something to say about it, what do you think about the prospects for the Spurs? Because again, nobody's talking about the Spurs because they're boring. But now that they played a game, like, it's a little bit fun. You know, they were a little bit fun for me to watch last night. So what do you think about the Spurs this year? I mean, obviously every year they're a contender, but what do you think compared to the new Golden State team? Leave me your comments in YouTube, KP the Sports Chick, or you can go to kpthesportschick.com and find all my social media outlets and these videos there as well. And if you want to leave a message on your social media outlet of choice, you can do so. So check me out.